All right, today we are going to be doing the same thing as yesterday, or a similar thing. We're going to be multiplying or doing distribution, but this time we have trinomials in the parentheses instead of a binomial. So again, thinking about it, yesterday they were binomials, meaning they had two terms in the parentheses. Today they're tri because they have three terms, trinomials. So if we look at number one, just like yesterday, we are going to distribute the 5 or multiply it in, so I'm adding my multiplication symbol. 5 times the first term, which is x squared, will get us 5x squared. 5 times the second term, which is plus 3x, or positive 3x. 5 times 3 will be 15x, and then 5 times the last term, which is positive 4, will be positive 20. And in this case, you can't combine anything there. You have an x squared term, an x term, and then just a number, a constant term. So none of those will be combined. So our final answer will be 5x squared plus 15x plus 20. All right, number 2, very similar to number 1, except for we will be distributing or multiplying -7 into our set of parentheses there. So we will start, we have -7 times the first term, which is 3x squared. So -7 times 3 is -21x squared. Then we have -7 times the middle term, which is plus 2x. So -7 times 2 is -14x. And then we have -7 times the last term, which is 11, so we will have -77. So, if we look at that, none of our terms there can be combined. We have a x squared, an x, and then a constant term. So -21x squared minus 14x minus 77 is our final answer. All right, if we look at number 3, again, we have a constant term times the trinomial again, but this time again, it's negative. So if we distribute that -3 into the trinomial, we have -3 times 4x squared, which would give us -12x squared. And -3 times -3x. Again, you have to make sure to use that symbol in front. So -3 times -3 should give you positive 9x. And then finally, -3 times 6 should give you -18. Just like the last two, none of that can be combined. So you should get -12x squared plus 9x minus 18. All right, number 4, a little bit more complicated because now we have a variable on the outside of the parentheses that we will have to distribute in. So this time we are distributing the 6x squared in. So if we look at this, 6x squared times x squared, and again that is the same as 1x squared. So 6 times 1 is 6, and x squared times x squared. Again, you add the exponents, so you should have x to the 4th. So again, you multiply the coefficients, the numbers in front, to get the 6, and then you add the exponents to get the 4. Same thing with our second term. Now we have 6x squared times 3x. So multiplying our coefficients, 6 times 3 is 18. And then x squared times x to the first, or x. If we add the exponents, we would get x to the third. And then finally, we have 6x squared times 9. So 6 times 9 is 54. And there's no other x's to multiply, so we just have x to the second attached. And again, we have x to the 4th, an x to the 3rd, and an x to the 2nd, and can't combine any of those. So that is our final answer for number 4. All right, number 5 is a good one because I think many people were a little bit confused on what to do if we were multiplying with multiple variables. So this time we are distributing 3x to the second y into the trinomial. So if I walk us through this one, If we multiply or distribute that into the first term, we have 3x squared y times 6x squared. So same thing, we're going to multiply our coefficients, the numbers in front. 6 times 3 will give us 18. Then we are going to multiply if they have the same base. So x and x are our bases, we have to add the exponents. So we'll have 2 and 2, which will give us 4. And there's no other y's, so the y will just go after, again in alphabetical order. Plus, now we're going to distribute that same thing to the second term. So again, multiplying the coefficients, 3 times 2 is 6. Now we have x squared times x to the first, and 2 plus 1 is 3, so that will be 3, or x to the third. Then we have y to the first times y to the first. That will give us y times y gives us y to the second. So again, that gives us 6x to the third, y to the second. Plus our last term. So again, multiplying our coefficients, 3 times 5 is 15. There are no other x's to combine, so I will put my x squared down. And now y to the first times y to the third is y to the fourth. And if we look at that answer that we just got from multiplying or distributing, none of our variables are the same. We have to have the same number of x's and the same number of y's, or the same exponent to combine. So we have x to the fourth y. None of these are x to the fourth y's, so we can't combine them. Same with the other two terms. So our final answer will be 18 x to the fourth y plus 6 x to the third y to the second plus 15 x to the second y to the fourth. Now we are going to do a couple practice problems that look like that, and I hope that everyone feels comfortable.